The eCom Seller Summit was created to prove that with the right tools and training, anyone and everyone can make money in e-commerce. So many people want to try their hand at e-commerce, selling on eBay, Amazon, Shopify, and more, but they're afraid they won't be successful. This summit will show you that there's many ways to do e-commerce, and there are many platforms you can explore because e-commerce really has no limits. It really can pay your bills, and e-commerce never sleeps. There's nothing like waking up to profits from getting sales all night long. My name is Nicole Whitlock, and this is the eCom Seller Summit.
Hi, my name is Toni Mitchell, and I'm a trainer with eCom Sellers. And today I've been asked to talk to you guys about online arbitrage and retail arbitrage and what the difference is and how to rock it. And so I just decided to change my little product thing to OA and RA. It's not just alphabet soup and how to rock it, okay? Because it sounds super hard, but it really isn't, okay? It's really not. But then again, I was trained by a woman who was born in the Depression. So let me tell you a little bit about myself. Oh, wait. Okay, there we go. Oh, first of all, before I do that, let me tell you a couple things. Learn the importance of sourcing, differentiate the difference between OA and RA, because I know we've got all these little alphabet things going on. Determine what works best for you. Maybe a hybrid. Maybe you do some OA and some RA. It's up to you. Share some things that didn't work for me because there were a couple things that I finally donated them. I can't, no, it has to go. Share a few strategy and tips that do work for me and real life examples, actually from yesterday and this morning, because I'm re-recording this because I had one already done, and then I talked with Nicole and I said, I think I need to redo mine. And she said, okay, if you want to, go right ahead. And I was like, good. Yes, because I have got so many things to tell you, and you're going to go whoop, 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 whoop. I hope you can't see behind me, but you might be able to. And it's just a few things that I haven't gotten dealt with yet. But I'll tell you a little bit about myself first, okay? First of all, I'm married to Chris, and we are celebrating 7 years of marriage on Saturday. Got married on February 26th during my planning period of 2015. We were supposed to get married on the 24th, but there was an ice storm. We have 4 daughters between us. My oldest is 30, and my youngest is 23. Also, we have a cat named Simba. And so if he decides to join us, just understand that it is all about him. Okay, I just want to let you know that. And my husband, Chris, is not here because he loves Chris. Does he love me? Absolutely not. I'm just going to flat out tell you. He likes me. He expects me to fetch his water, fetch his food, let him out, that kind of thing. But as far as jumping up and nuzzling with me, absolutely not. Why would he do that when he has Chris? Of course, right now, he also may be in Chris's office chair because Chris just left here a few minutes ago. I'm a retired high school educator, and I'm an extremely experienced couponer, shopper, and deal finder. I have been couponing as long as I can remember, and that's no lie. I started selling, what is this going on? Oh, okay. Oh, everybody's doing the 222. I'm feeling 22. Even my trainer this morning was doing, I'm feeling 22. Anyway, I started selling on eBay in the late 90s, and there were some deals like nobody's business because, that was the beginning of the internet when the internet kind of went, phew, and everybody had an online platform. Toys R Us, they had a $10 coupon. You join, you sign up, you get $10 off. Well, you know how many Lego sets I could get for $10 and $19.99? I could get a lot. I'm just saying. I got lots of clothes. I got my daughter's clothes, an outfit for $2.50. And we're talking Abercrombie and Fitch, or we're talking American Eagle kids. We're talking all sorts of stuff. That year, I had so many presents for my daughters. It was embarrassing. It was so embarrassing that I couldn't give it all because it had been ridiculous. I did explain to other platforms about 6 years ago, but I really started selling more on eBay in 2010, September, October, November, December. And about that time was when my first husband and I didn't see things the same way. And so basically packed up stuff for him and said, get out. Okay, just throwing it out there. Just some things you can't forgive. So, anyway, I've forgiven him, but I'm not going to put up with that. All right. May he rest in peace, because he did pass away in 2016. I did expand to other platforms about 6 years ago, and I've been selling on eBay. My husband sells on me for eBay, Amazon, Mercari, Facebook Marketplace, and even Just Between Friends, which is a consignment sale that they do in my area about 3 times a year. They have them in some of the bigger cities. They're franchises. Yeah, I do that with either items that I get for like almost nothing, which I can do that, I promise you. It's basically children's things, or it's items that did not do well for me and I pulled them off Amazon. Um, didn't work on Mercari, whatever. I pull it, bundle it, and get it out. Okay, because the bottom line is, when you are married, they don't like the clutter. Okay, there's a lot of clutter with the arbitrage, but if you work it fine, if you work it right, it won't be ridiculous. Okay, so I'm just telling you, that's about me. So sourcing, what is it? It's finding products to sell. Okay, I sell primarily on Amazon, and I've done that mainly because there's 2 reasons. Number one, I can send it in, and I don't have to deal with it anymore, unless they tell me I have to take it back. Secondly, um, when I was still teaching, because I did this the last several years I taught, I didn't have time to do seller fulfilled. I mean, I did a few things. I just don't like dealing with it very much. There's a few things I'll do, but mainly it was for convenience for me, because I um, just felt that that was the best thing for me to do at the time. My husband works from home. He's been working from home. He was working from home before the pandemic, but he has been officed at the house since March the 6th of 2020. So his office is not open. I think they've been open for a few people, and he may start going in once a week, especially since I've retired, so he can get away from me. Just kidding. I'm usually out. Um, so I have a couple other side hustles. I work with a retired teachers group, and I do some of their social media, but that's not a hustle. That's just a labor of love. I volunteer as far as donating a lot of the things that I find. I've done that several different times this year already. I'm not saying look at me, look at me. I'm just telling you that sometimes you just get it because you know that other people need it. And I also am a photographer's assistant for a friend of mine. When I was teaching, I started the photojournalism program in a large school district in the area in which I live. I started the program. Now there are 11 high schools, and I have quite a few students who work as professional photographers now. Almost every kid who's been through my program has made it a side hustle for them when they've been finishing high school and going through college, because they figured out they could make more money and they could also write off their camera equipment. And so, anyway, where was I going with that? I just kind of rambled, and I'm sorry. But sourcing is finding stuff to sell. So you got to find a source, whatever it is. Okay, so the two different types are, you have retail and online arbitrage. And in a nutshell, most online sellers do start off using some kind of arbitrage, basically buying something at a low price and selling it for a higher price, usually in the short term. Retail, or RA, is going to a retail store, a retail outlet in your area, or you may take a road trip. I've done that before, and purchasing products to resell. Online, or OA, is going to an online retailer and purchasing products to resell. Basically, the difference is the platform. The only difference is the platform. So let's look at the pros and cons of each. Okay, on RA, which is retail arbitrage, that's the reason why I called it alphabet soup, you have the product in your hands ready to sell. You can get some items, if you're strategic, at a huge discount, and you can examine each product before purchasing to determine if you want to purchase it. Now I'm going to show you just one of my little finds recently. This is a Hallmark ornament. I like Hallmark ornaments. I'll even like them when I, have to play close to full price. Now what I do a lot of times is I do OA on them, some of them, and I find a coupon with that retailer. and I can't put it together. I get a reward dollars or whatever they do. I use those to buy more. So that's kind of what I do. This one right here was found, and one of my favorite things to do, and I've got a lot of favorite things, as you tell, and I'm trying to figure out how to look at this camera. One of my favorite things to do is I like to go to the clearance area. Okay, I mean, that is like when I go doing my RA, I've got a circle, and it depends on the store. And in this area, I'm fortunate there are 6 Targets, excuse me, not Targets, 6 Walmarts within a 10-mile radius of my house. Again, yes, I am spoiled. And I have my little routine, and I know how each store is laid out. So, the cons are, first, you're limited by the supply stores in your area. The prices may be higher if you continue stocking the item, making your profit margin smaller. The other thing is some stores may have the price on it because not every store prices things the same. Some managers like to hold on to stuff, and that is fine. Some want to get it out of there, okay? And so you may find that. But this little thing right here, I'm going to tell you, right after they finished Christmas, they popped these up at full price. And I was like, oh, no, we don't. No, we don't do full price. I just happened to walk in. Oh, gosh, it's been about 3 weeks ago. They had 2 of them. Will Ferrell as the elf from, what is it called? Elf, yeah, Buddy. It's Buddy. Bought him for 98 cents. Okay, now I was about to just start dancing on a table because I was very excited about that. Because even right now today, I would make almost $10 if I sold him on Amazon. I did sell 2 of them, actually. And I made a marginal amount of money. This right here is just going to rock my world, okay? So I'm just telling you. I do like ornaments. That's one of my things I do. And I'll explain to you why I do that later, okay? Because there's a reason and rationale for everything I do, even though it sounds absurd. Now, the pros of OA, and I'm going to go back to online arbitrage. You can stay home and get items delivered to you. And you can get some if you're strategic with a huge discount, and it's with different online deals. One of my favorite stores to source from is Kohl's because they do carry Hallmark. They do have their 30% coupons because I have a Kohl's card. And, I can get a decent deal. And then you have their, whatever they're called, Kohl's dollars, whatever they're called. And you can take those because they're good right after the sale. And then you can take those and put them on other stuff. They also have that other program where in increments of $5 they give you at the beginning of the month. So, I mean, you can put some stuff back on, you can actually get some free product based on what you purchase. And I kind of like that. And when I do online arbitrage, I also go through a third affiliate site called Rakuten, which is one of my favorite things of all time. And if you want my referral, because when you do that, if you sign up under my referral, I get $25. And actually now it's 30, not 25, it's 30. I get $30 and you get $30. Now you don't get it immediately. You get it at the end of a quarter. I just got mine from out of Christmas, and I got $154, which, I don't do that much OA, but there are times that I do that. Also, another thing you can do, if you really want to be slick, is you can order the stuff online, have it, that you're going to do store pickup, and you get it that way. I mean, I did that a couple times with Walgreens, and I know some of y'all like, Walgreens, really? When you see some of my stuff, you're going to go, oh, girl, I'm going to Walgreens every day. Walgreens, I could, on this clearance stuff, I have to go in. But, like, when they have the deals, buy 2 things, get 1 free, which they do with cosmetics quite frequently. And then you can also put the coupon codes in there. That helps a lot. Also, the other thing is when I went through Rakuten, I was getting 10% back on everything I bought. Just another little secret there. But the things I don't like about it, you're limited by the supply of the company you're sourcing from. Inventory may not be as readily available. One thing I didn't put on here is that some may have limits. I mean, CVS has a limit of 3. I'm going to knock on wood. My desk is wood. Right now, Walgreens does not. I think, no, there's just 12, and I'm knocking on wood. Hopefully they don't change that. But, again, there are limits. You may have to do 2 or 3 different orders. There are, another con is supply chain issues. I don't know if some of you have been in the stores, but there are things that look like they just got them, and with supply chain issues, they didn't get them in time for whatever holiday, and so they're having to sell it, on clearance. That happened to the Walgreens down the street from me. I know one of the assistants really pretty well, And she even took me over to the back area where they have it. They had this. She says, Toni, they got all this candy here for $1.50 each. And I sold each one of them, and I, made about $3 each on them. Real quick, easy sale. And they didn't have, like Halloween on or anything else. And I was pretty happy about that. So, and I used my Walgreens extra, they're not extra care bucks, whatever Walgreens says, Walgreens money or whatever they do. I used my points and got that pretty close to being free. And the other thing, when I've had this happen to me, and it happened to me with my Hallmark ornaments this year, and I was so not happy about that, is that it may look like the devil. I'm not kidding. I mean, they just throw it in there and just look nasty. And you get this box and you think, okay, I want to sell this new, but I can't. And so you got to look at it and go, do I really want to mess with this or not? So I'm looking around here. Is this the one from this year? I'm looking at it. I can't remember. Is this the second one? Yeah, this is the one from this year. Last year, I noticed that they were doing the Nintendo series, okay? Now, I'm also going to tell you that I'm the youngest of 3 children. My sisters both had 2 daughters. One had 2 daughters. One had a son and a daughter. And the oldest one is like 17 years younger than me. So in my college years, I would drive from where I lived, and I would drive to where my sister lived. And it was about a 2-hour drive. A lot of times it was a lot faster to go there to do my laundry, get a home cooked meal, or, raid a refrigerator, whatever, than it was to go back where my parents lived. The other thing is my father was in the hospital for a long time. He was in a burn accident, so he was in the Parklet burn unit. So for a while, my sister's home was my mother's home, because that's where she stayed, because, he was in burn ICU from September to November of that year. Bottom line is that I had to watch a lot of children playing Nintendo. And it's about as fun for me as watching paint dry. And then the really horrible thing is when they say, oh, why don't you play? And you're not good at video games. Okay, I'm just saying. I'm horrible at video games. I hate them. Okay, I like selling them. I like the fact people buy them. But I personally don't enjoy them. Okay, there's other things I like, but that's not one of them. And so, anyway, with that being said, I knew right off, because my niece is in the early part of that second baby boom. And I knew that ornament was going to fly off the shelves. And it did. I still have one left. And I think the going price, and I'd taken out to look at it. Probably shouldn't have done that, but I wanted to look at it. But the going price for it is over $60 to $70. And I did buy it with a 30% coupon. So my cost of inventory was about $8-9 less than what it normally would be. This one is doing okay. It's about double what it is, but it's kind of like only thing I could equivalent that to is the Star Trek very first, the regular Star Trek first Enterprise. That ornament, even 20 years ago, was like $200, and I'm sure it's appreciated since. The second, third, and fourth, you could find them a lot easier, so it wasn't as big a deal. So, but this one looks kind of janky too. Look at it, and I probably should take it back too. There's a big, ripple there. It just looks bad, and I'm not going to sell that as a brand new product. Box is janky. Look at that box, okay? And I'm just not going to. And I took a bunch of them back, but I need to take that one back too. I forgot about that one. So anyway, it wasn't correct. It wasn't correctly packed, and I know how customers can be at this day and age. We've been in the pandemic. We're just so done with everybody that we just get a little sassy. So I just, immediately took it back. So there again, you may have some issues there. Things to do before you buy something. You don't just go in a store and say, oh, I'm going to buy something. Well, I kind of do, but I'll explain that in a minute. You need to research and decide if it's worth the effort. You can Google it. If you're on Facebook, not Facebook. Oh, why did I say Facebook? If you're on Amazon, Fulfilled by Amazon, FBA, rank it, scan it to see what it is after the fees. And if it's on Amazon, look at the rank. The rank may be pretty decent. I'm just throwing it out there. You never know. And the other thing is to look at the other retail outlets. Right now, if you walk into any store, I'm talking Walmart, Target, Walgreens, CVS, Kroger's, any other grocery store on the planet, in the front, in the center, is all the Easter stuff. Now, granted, it isn't as rich of an Easter display as it used to be, because last year, I mean, it was everywhere. But I'm telling you, it was like 3 days after Valentine's, they were already putting it out. Because the thing is, they are trying to, maximize their profit by getting it out as quickly as they can. And these people are already starting to buy stuff. I've seen them. I've already sent in some of my stuff. I've got to get up in the attic after I finish this video. And I'm going to have to go get the rest of mine out like today or tomorrow. It needs to go because it already needs to be sold. I've gotten 2 or 3 things that were down and they've sold already. So you just need to be ready to have your stuff ready to sell at least 2 months before the holiday. If you go 6 months, people go, oh, I don't want that. It's so far away. So you just need to really kind of pace yourself and understand you need to be proactive. You don't want to be a reactive seller. You want to be a proactive seller. Okay. So determine whether this item fits in your business model or mission. It's your journey. Okay. Before the pandemic, I was kind of all over the place. I did toys, I did clothes, I did everything. Okay. Once the pandemic hit, my whole vision changed in my business. Again, I'm a big clearance shopper for my sourcing. I'm not going to lie on that. But I noticed a couple things. Number one, you remember they limited you where you could go for a while? In Texas, we were probably not as restricted as other places. But, everything was closed except for, grocery stores. So that meant Kroger's, Walgreens, CVS, Walmart, Albertsons, Tom Thumb, whatever. Those were about the only place you could go. And you still had to wear a mask and everything else. So I changed it to where I was doing more consumables or replenishables. And what that means is it's something people need to buy over and over and over again. That is the reason why I kind of migrated a little bit over toward cosmetics, because I can sell beauty and health. And I have started selling cosmetics. And I make sure that the sucker's sealed. I make sure that's sealed, like right here on this one. I don't know if you can see it, but there's a seal there. I make sure it's sealed. I check the expiration dates because that's super important. You've got to do those things because, again, think about it. If you got it as a buyer, would you want to get the item that you got? That's one thing I always think. Another example, and by the way, if you do it replenishables, one thing you got to remember is even if you don't like it, there's somebody that does, okay? This right here is some pumpkin spice, and it's sugar-free because, again, you got people with special diets. Now, I'm not a big fan of pumpkin spice. I used to be, but what happened was my daughter and I got a hold of some bad pumpkin spice, and I think we were already kind of sick on something. It's like about 8 years ago. And we're just like, yeah, I mean, I drink it every once in a while. But, I mean, one of my stores I walked into, this is normally like $4 or $5. I got it for 99 cents. Now, right now, it's a little flooded. I've also noticed that this is good until 2023, August of 2023. I'm like, So I kept a couple back. It's in a plastic bottle, won't break. They're sealed. We're all good. And that's a big thing. You've got to look at the expiration dates. Another pumpkin thing, I'm going to go down, so give me a second. Don't look at my house. These right here, these Pop-Tarts. Am I the right way? Okay, good. These pumpkin pie Pop-Tarts. Now, again, I was a beneficiary of the fact that these got to an outlet late. I bought these for 39 cents a box. Now, I bundled them into bundles of 4, and they're going for about $24. Now, the thing is, I bought them for 39 cents each. I paid $1.56 for 4 boxes. You can't even get 1 box of Pop-Tarts for that. So I just figure whatever, I bought all 39. I climbed up before I had physical therapy. I was throwing them in my basket. Okay, that's another thing. Okay, that's another example of replenishable. Another example of replenishables are M&M. And the one strategy I do is I kind of wait and see what kind of weird M&M they have. This is Black Forest cake. It was for Valentine's. People will buy it. I promise you, they will buy it. Okay. I've got some coupons. Some stores will not take this coupon. Most of them do. It's legit. I'm not, one of those crazy people. But anyway, these are going, again, for approximately $23. And their rank is really good. So that's replenishable. Keep taking it over and over again. Conditioner is a replenishable. What else? But you get my drift here? Okay. Even adult diapers, okay? And that is one place that we'll get to where I found a great deal. Adult diapers are replenishable, okay? So that's what you want to think about. Things that people have to get over and over and over again for whatever reason. I mean, because somebody my age, I'm kind of in that, targeted demographic now that they, on the news channels that they, put the, Depends and everything else toward. I don't mind buying it because I'm getting it for cheap, but if I had to buy that for myself all the time, I might have to go to Amazon. Just saying. And a lot of people do that because either A, they're in rural America and the only thing they have is maybe a gas station with a expanded food selection, but not a super big food selection, or a Dollar General or whatever, and they don't have the size or whatever it is, and it's cost effective for them to buy it off Amazon. Or there's some people like my niece who just have a subscription and they just don't want to fool with it. They just want it there. Now, I kind of went on a tangent, but it's my journey, and my journey was that I went from all the stuff that really people could tell, wasn't really a need, and that's what the pandemic did for me. I bundle toothpaste, I bundle all sorts of things like that now. And the cool thing about that is there are always deals on that. Right now, one of the stores I purchased from, one of the retail outlets, they've got a deal going. $25, you get $10 off. Okay? Now that means you can get $25 worth of product for $15. And that's not even counting the coupons and stuff that you get on top of it. Now you probably need to allow for that. Always bring an extra one to the register just in case, so you can throw it in. Make sure that you get your $10 off, because there's nothing worse than you being like 50 cents and you're like, oh my gosh, I've got to run back, and people rolling their eyes at you. Okay, so again, those are just some things I've learned. And finally, determine if it meets your budget and profit demands. Another reason why I went to the things like this, makeup, this isn't big. A game is big. I've got a couple of games over there that are pretty big. And I may send them in, I may not. There's some things that weigh a lot that again, it will cost you more out of your profits because you have to mail it. I mean, there's some things my husband's like, why are you buying that? Don't buy that because it costs, too much to mail. And he's right. Don't tell him I said it though, but he's right. So you've got to think about your fixed cost. Another thing, when I'm outsourcing, I look for boxes, okay? Everybody's putting all sorts of product out. What are they going to do with those boxes? They're going to throw them away. And you could help recycle that box. Because on every box, they're out saying recycle, recycle, recycle. So why not use those boxes? They get those little sacks in. They're like 12 by 12 by 10. And you can send in some product in it. Why not? Saves you $1 something per box. I'm telling you, that helps your bottom line. Those little things like that make a huge difference, okay? So, some strategies to consider. Go with what you know, go with what's cost effective, and go what people want and will continue to want. So, some things I knew. I know shampoo. I know beauty. I know my makeup, I'm telling you. I went to university. I'll just go ahead and tell you. I went to Baylor, okay, in the 80s. And you didn't go to class without makeup on, okay? I've seen girls now. My daughters went to college and they rolled out of bed, hair, brushed. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't believe you did that. Because especially if you were a business major, which I was a double major, I was business and journalism, you could tell. There was one semester I had Monday, Wednesday, Friday in the School of Business. So, buddy, I was to the nines, okay? Cute outfit, hair done, mascara, the whole mess, okay? On Tuesday, Thursday was journalism. I was in the journalism school. I wasn't quite as rigid. Now, I'm going to tell you, I did, put foundation, put a little blush, mascara, maybe, maybe not. And then I would wear like a sweatshirt and shorts because it was very cozy and comfy. So I'm just telling you, I know makeup. I know ornaments because I collected them. Good grief. My tree used to look like a Hallmark dream. It doesn't anymore because my kids are grown. But when they were young, oh my goodness, we had every little, and I've sold a bunch of them. I just went on and got them out. But anyway, I know those. I know food. I mean, I know my stuff. On those stuff, I know my things. The other thing about those small things is that they're usually coupons. And that's another thing. Because I like to save money. Because I love to say, I paid $1 for this. And then that's the other thing. With clothing, I have found a lot of my items for $1. I will go up to $5. It's about the most I will go on selling items because on clothing, because I just don't want to eat the cost of it. Okay, there's nothing worse than you eating $20-$30 on something that you might have made $5 on, but if you buy it for 5 and you make and you sell it for 28 or whatever, you're still gonna make $15. Okay, that's kind of a party there. I'm just saying, after your cost, I'm pretty excited about that. So I know my clothes, know those things. Okay, so some things I've learned: you're not gonna get it all down, especially at first. There are gonna be some big mess ups. You're going to have to be patient with your scale. Scan anything you think might be worth checking. Taking into account your other costs like shipping, weight, etc. And I mean, you may scan and go, oh, I can make a bundle. And sometimes I will tell you right now, I'm just like, I'm not in the mood for that. And so at first I was like, oh, I'm going to make a bundle, and I would do that. And then I was like, oh, that's so much effort. Oh my goodness, I'm not doing that anymore ever. That's what I would say to myself. So I'm just telling you, make sure, especially if you're with Amazon, Amazon changes its rules without telling anybody. They just do. It's all about them, which is fine because I make a decent living off of it, my side hustle. So I'm just telling you, be careful. All right, some real life sourcing this week. And it's the reason I redid this because I really wanted to show y'all some stuff, okay? I like to wait as long as possible on price. My favorite is 90% off. I'm just telling you, 90% off. I'm pretty excited. I have found things that are 90% off the lowest price. And that was at Kroger. I'll talk about that at the end. I will keep my eyes open and check certain things when I'm in the store. I will scan it. I get on clearance groups for each store around me. I get on like the Facebook Kroger clearance, and I get on the Walgreens clearance, and I get on the Walmart. And I mean, nothing, I'm just like, oh, I wish I lived in Alabama in the boondocks. And I'm like, no, you don't, because it's 10% sales tax. But then I see all these deals in Florida that, I mean, like Barbie houses for $10. I've never seen. I've looked and looked. I can't find it. But you never know. Be familiar with the product and have a good idea of what you're going to be able to flip it for. I mean, just know. I mean, don't go and buy something and then you find out you're gated and then get mad. It's your fault. You didn't check. Check places you wouldn't think to source. And one of them is Kroger. The signatures. There are some Krogers in our area that have clothing. And it's wonderful. Because they've done this twice in the last, they did May, they did October, in the last 11 months. It was after the pandemic. It was in 2021. Yeah. I walk in, because that's what I do before work. Because where I live, if I don't leave my house before 7 o'clock, it will take me more than an hour to get to work. So I leave at 7 and do a little couple. I just do my RA. I just had on schedule. Some days I stop here, some days I start there. And I decided, you know what, that Starbucks across the street takes forever. And I was kind of in the mood for Starbucks because I had a coupon on it on my, my Kroger thing. So I kind of do my little rounds. And what I do is I walk into that Kroger on the drug side where, all the fun stuff is in the clearance. I'm like straight back but I kind of look around. And I noticed this one was straightening some stuff up in the clearance area. And I thought, well, it wasn't super clearance. I didn't think it was super clearance. And then I went over and scanned something, and I saw $1.99 for a pair of Levi's. I was like, oh, no, it's not. And I mean, I grabbed a cart, and I started, it was all hands on deck. I bought so much stuff, and my savings that day was $4,000. And I would go back and find it for you. And maybe if you come to one of the live events or something, I'll pull it up for you. But $4,000, I'm not kidding. My end of year savings that year was over 12 grand. Now, most of it was on the clothes. I was finding shoes for $2 and $3. And I donated quite a bit of it, to be quite honest. I donated it to a clothes closet at the school I taught. I mean, I took 3 full carts. I mean, those overhead carts, I mean, they were full. I mean, they're like 6 items high and all that. I mean, they had t-shirts and camis and New Balance tennis shoes and all sorts of stuff. I just felt that was, because some of that I just didn't want to fool with, but some of it I kept back for, to flip. And it flipped fast. It was like, boom, boom, boom. And my husband's like, why don't you find some more of this? I said, well, if I can find it for $1.99, I'll be all over it, Holmes. But anyway, Kroger, I never dreamed. And I went to that one, and I went to 2 or 3 other ones. Another thing that I found out is that they weren't little sizes. They were the plus sizes, because that was all that was left. And I asked a friend of mine, she's lost some weight, but I said, I've weird, but I sell a lot of plus size stuff. I said, why is that? She goes, Toni, we can't find it. And so, especially the larger sizes, 3X, 4X, 5X, it moves. It does, because it's one of the few places people can find things. And I don't buy anything that I think is ugly. Okay, I buy basic T-shirts, different colors. I buy jeans. Um, I'll buy shorts if I see them like in different things. Like I bought some camo stuff, but I try again not to spend more than $1. The Levi jeans, yeah, I went to $2.49 on some of them. And then men's shorts. Oh my gosh, men's clothing. Oh man, the pants, the short, they know if they're a size 38 waist or a 40 waist or a 42 waist. I've gone up a size 50, okay? But again, I have my price. So this is one example, and this is from this morning. Yes, this morning. So, and I couldn't get all my receipt on there, but there are 54 items. So I just took some screenshots of several of them. And if you notice over here, I found some writing gel for 29 cents. All this icing, if you notice, is 30 cents. Now I'm going to tell you that at this store, it had the star on it, but it's the same pink icing they sell all year long, okay? There's no special, oh, it's Christmas icing, so it tastes different. No, no, it is the same stuff, I promise. Same thing with the white icing, the vanilla. Instead of it being $3, it was 30 cents. And I was like, holler, holler, yes. Right here, this Barbie clothes, they decided, and that's another thing I found out recently. Actually, I found this out last night. I was on a panel, the OA panel. I hope y'all saw that because it was some really good stuff, okay? I learned some things. I actually learned a lot of stuff, and I was like on my phone and typing and screenshotting. But one of the panelists was a former Walmart manager. He said Monday and Tuesdays are the time that they put almost most of their clearance out because they get more money somehow. I don't understand how, but I found 9 of these Barbie Ken doll with Hawaiian sports shirt, glasses, etc. It's a little set. I got it for $1.82. The low on this is $9.99. Okay, and I looked at it, and I'm going to show y'all what this comes up as here in a minute. Okay, I got look at the Valentine's Mickey Mouse, 78 cents. Yoda, my man, Yoda, 78 cents. And then I found a bunch of dog stuff, and I thought I'll figure out something to do with that. Ties. My conditioner, 75 cents. I also get a rebate from one of my affiliate things that I do. I mean, one of my, couponing sites. I'll get a rebate on it. So anyway, 54 items, $42. So you realize that's less than $1 per item. Now, granted, the dog things for 39 cents really helped. But all these icings right here, there's a lot of good stuff because I'm going to show you here. On this one, what did I find on this receipt? Well, you know what? I didn't even scan it. I just knew it would sell. Okay, because I've had this year that people would put a lot of icing. They wanted to change the color, to change the packaging. They put it on clearance. And, I'm there to help them out. I'm there to help them with their shelf space on stuff that I can sell. And so I looked, I was like, oh, holy cow. It's got a okay rank. I looked at the number of sellers. There aren't many. There's only one FBA, and I'm an FBA because I'm just, again, I told y'all the reasons why I'm FBA. I looked over here at the low, and I'm going a little bit higher, not much. The fees, my cost to ship it, and I put 50 cents, okay? They usually have a 0, but I put 50 cents because I just want to make sure. My cost of purchase is 30 cents. And remember, there's no tax in Texas for food. $9.20 profit. It's light. It's all my things. It's small, it's light, and I make money. A decent amount. I mean, enough to go, yeah, I'm going to go out and find some more. Okay, that was like yes for me. Okay, here's another one. This is the white icing. Now, the profit on it is not as much because you can find it in more places. But even if I stay in what everybody's selling for, $8.69, 50 cents shipping, 30 cents purchase, I'm still going to make almost $4, $3.50, almost $3.50. It's not horrible. It's not fabulous. It's not horrible. I mean, the rank is decent. There are quite a few more sellers you may want to hold. I'm going to send a couple in. I've already sent a couple in. I'm going to send a few more in. My price is a little bit higher because, I feel like if the buyer thinks about it, some of them will do, if somebody buys it and they're like, oh, it takes forever because of seller fulfilled. Well, yeah, it does because you have to rely on that seller to get it there to the post office, that kind of thing. That's the one thing Amazon takes care of for me. And that's one reason why I like it. So anyway, if you do seller fulfilled, remember to count in the cost of postage as well as the envelope and everything else you need. And I should have gotten those 2 commas, which, like everything else, is going up. Okay, because your cost to send that out is not the thing they give you in the allowance. That's probably what's going to, it might cover your postage. It probably won't. All right, some other finds in this receipt, of course, are wax. I like wax, especially when they mark it down to 10 and a quarter and 50 cents. I love wax because I can bundle those things and I can make a decent profit. Barbie clothing, I told you, scrub tops, if you can score them at 90% off. That's where my husband sells them for me. He sells them on eBay. And so I looked at the profit margin. We'll probably still make about $8 or $9 an item. Right now, they're flooded because everybody's doing the same thing we are. The conditioner, like 75 cents Homes, and the pajamas that you saw for 78 cents. So there's some other things. The pajamas, I will not sell them and send them into Amazon because of all the things they want you to sell because it's baby stuff. So I tend to take those to that consignment sale because it's 5T, so it's going to be a big kid, and it was cheap, and it's brand new, and it has tags, and I'll make my money back, plus make a little extra money. So, all right, here's one more receipt dive. This is from yesterday. I went to see my daughter. It was her birthday. She believes it should be a national holiday, which for her this year it was. Happens about every 8 or 10 years, so she was very excited. So we went to lunch, and I said, oh, since we're in Sherman, I'm going to go ahead. I need to go to Walmart. We have to go. Because the last time I was there, in November, I found a bunch of books. Oh, well, I found a bunch of books again. And there's a lot of them, they don't even have what they are because they're not stocking them. But, I found, Happy Love Day, Daniel Tiger. If you give a mouse, Happy Valentine's Day mouse. Made with Love, I Rough You. Quite a few of these, I even found comic books for 3 cents. And 3 cents is the price that's really supposed to be salvage, but somebody didn't do their job, and I was like, oh, let me help you. So if you find something 3 cents, definitely go to the self-checkout line. Do not go to the register because they're going to freak out on you, okay? I'm just telling you, do that. That's something I learned. Even with self-checkout, one time I learned that, and the guy was freaking out because they were video games, and they were 3 cents because they were trying to clear them. I bought 9 video games for 27 cents, so with tax 30. I made some good money because I sold 3 of them for $42 each. So, anyway, back with that. What I can do with these is a couple of them I'll send in. And I won't make much, or I'll do seller fulfilled. Some of them I'm going to bundle for that Just for Kids thing. Because I sold several books at that Just for Kids thing that I paid 50 cents, 49 cents, 30 cents, whatever for. They sold. So, and I made my money and then some. So that's just another technique. Okay, finds on this, of course. Children's books, frosting, some toothpaste I'm bundling, $33.67 total. There were 8 of the pink things, so you already know I'm going to make more money than that. Okay. Now this is one from Walgreens right here, and I paid $1.35 for 16 items. Now I'm going to confess that I did have coupons for almost every item. If you see all these items right here, they cost me nothing, and the reason why is there's a book in this and there's a coupon book you get at Walgreens each month. It usually expires on the last Saturday of each month. Well, on this one, fortunately for me, they had a $3 coupon for L'Oreal foundation, blush, any face product. Not eyes, face. Well, all these items were marked $2.99, and it was buy one, get one half. And you know what? It was a store doing a reset. I went there like 7 times in the last 10 days. Why shouldn't I help them out? I'm just saying. I did have a $5 coupon in my hands for $5 worth of any kind of makeup in Walgreens. And of course I used it. Why not? So if you notice, I have 2 items that are 39 and 40 cents, or 3 items, and then 2 were 9 cents. Everything else was free. The gentleman checking me out was like, oh my goodness. I was like, oh yeah. Yep. Now, here's one item. So, oh, sorry, didn't mean to go there. Let's look at this real quick. Your item cost is $0. Yes, it was $0 because I told you about the book. My shipping, I'm assuming 50 cents. So I'm going to sell this for $9.99 because I looked at the 5 sellers on here. Amazon was at $7.97. Everybody else was $13 or above. I tend to kind of try to do the medium between because Amazon has a habit of finding people's prices, and you may be lower than everybody else, but they're going to tell you that your price is too high. So I do that because, you know, your price may get flagged as a non-fair market price or whatever. I know this retails for $9.99 right now. Since I paid nothing for it, I will make money on it. Even if I sold it for the 7 whatever, I'd still make money, but I'm gonna make more money because of that. And the rank is decent. It's above 100, in the below 100,000 in beauty. It may sit there for a week or two, but it's gonna go. Okay. So let's see. So other finds on there. Let's just put every single item because the highest price item was 39 cents. I'm just saying. I'm just throwing it out there, just reminding you of that. Okay. These are some other. This is the Garnier. Now, granted, I got this for 75 cents. This is the same stuff I bought for 240, which made me cry inside, but that was okay. Still going to make a little decent profit there. This right here, it's hard to see, but this is a receipt from. I'm looking at the date, 2 days after Christmas, and so what happened 2 days after Christmas is I went to the Kroger near my physical therapist, which is right by the Star in the Ford Center at the Star. I think that's what it's called, and that's where the Cowboys practice. So it's in a little higher priced home area. It's, and the Cowboys actually go. Dallas Cowboys go there to shop because it is convenient to their practice facility. My daughter used to be a manager at one of the racetracks down the road, and Cowboys would come in there all the time. And people go, "Oh my gosh, can't believe you waited on Vander, whatever his name is." And she said, "Who? What? I don't know who that is." So anyway, right here you see that I bought some cake mixes. They were $1 each. I bought some stockings. Now I paid more for those stockings this time than I did last year. Last year I bought them for $1, and I had to pay $6 for them this year because I knew they weren't going to be there. And mainly they were the Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer ones. The other ones were kind of and I ended up selling them at the consignment sale. They just didn't go well for me. What else I'm looking here? Sprinkles. Those are decorative Wilton things. I found those for 30 cents. I actually do self-fulfill with that. Let's see what else. Ziploc bags. I'm looking down there. Ziploc bags. If they are like Halloween or Christmas are big ones because people can use those also to put baked goods in as a gift or whatever. And they were already half price. I had coupons on my Kroger card. And right here, if you look down, you see these coupons here. Well, in that display of the cake mixes, they were so wonderful. They had $1 off 2 coupons. So I helped myself to a lot more than 5. But I used those to help bring my cost down to 50 cents per item on those cake mixes. And I have them up, and I'll probably make about $6. And the great thing about those cake mixes, they're good until probably close to, I think it's the end of 2023. So the thing is that I'm going to have next season as well. I have to, put it in a bin, and I do, and we'll just deal with it at that time. Okay? So I told you some of the things, the Ziplocs, Christmas stockings, toys. I did find some toys that they were about to do a reset, and they were just trying to clear some of the toys. They were like, we need them out of here. Okay, so real quick, I just want to give a plug to the eCom Seller Summit. If you find this valuable, and I hope you did, and you want to see what everybody else has been talking about, you could buy the All Access Pass. You would have 38 masterclass sessions. You get to see me over and over again. You get to hear me talk about my daughter's birthday yesterday. You hear me talk about, all the crazy things around here. And Simba, don't want to forget Simba, because he thinks he should be worshipped. He would have been a great Egyptian cat. But anyway, please go back and check all our other speakers. Remember, you only have access to this for today when you get to watch it, and that's it, okay? Unless you buy the All Access Pass. So you can sign up to purchase it at the ecomsellersummit.com. There's some other goodies that come with having the All Access Pass. So I really hope that you will give it some thought. Anyway, if you have any questions, like a question about something I said, reach out. But, again, we also have the Academy. You get individual coaching, all sorts of stuff. I hope you find this valuable.